What's up, guys? It's Michael with MBB Adventures, and we have come out to Disney Springs this early Friday morning for the Taste of Florida celebration. Taste of Florida flavors presented by Corkcicle. We have a Chef Art Smith culinary demonstration that is a ticketed event. It starts in about 30 minutes. So we're gonna head over there. It's over by the Boathouse and Wine Bar George. So if you will, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us on our adventure today. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, it's a nice morning here. We're passing Chicken Guy and we are heading in here. Not busy at all yet on this Friday morning. Ooh, Tommy Bahama is doing an end of season sale. That's cool. It's always hard to find discounts on that stuff. Also, Vera Bradley just dropped a new line the other day. Here's some of its characters. Here's what it looks like. Backpack has many ears. And here is a picture. It's called the Piccadilly Paisley Collection. Very cool. And they got a whole ton of it. Also, Lululemon update. You got the whole front of the building ripped out. It says it's coming fall of 2023. Should be a much bigger store than they had. Here's a look at Chef Art Smith's Homecoming and the Flavors of Florida Key West Shrimp Cocktail is the special dish for this event. Chef Art Smith opened this in Disney Springs. I don't remember what year. It's been a couple years though. We love this restaurant. Here's a look at the menu. We always get like the chicken and waffles. Big old menu. Then you can get the different types of moonshines and the squeezy bottles over here. But Chef Art Smith has a very lengthy culinary background. He has cooked for many celebrities, including the royal family and the Queen of England. I had the privilege of eating at his Reunion restaurant in Chicago, and that is every bit as good as this one. The line for Gideon's has started early this morning. Can you blame him though? Alright guys, so today's event is going to be over here right across from Wine Bar George. We're going to go check in. It required a previous ticket registration. We're checked in, we got a seat. And they gave us some goodies. We got a fan. Doesn't have anything on, it's just plain white. This is like a postcard. Enjoy a free gift with the purchase of Corkcicle. Cool. Then we got a book that shows all the different Taste of Florida options and their locations. Some of these look really good.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. How are you doing today? Good?
Here we go.
Fantastic. We haven't started yet. This is just a mic check where I have to walk around the stage.
So this is a limited special event. They are very limited on seating. It requires registration through Eventbrite. They only do it on Fridays. And there's only like 8 of them. 8 weeks.
Okay, well, hello everyone and welcome to Flavors of Florida presented by Corkcicle. Yes, indeed. Exciting. My name is Mark Daniel, and I'll be your host for this amazing culinary series. Now, this culinary series event is exclusive to Disney Springs. You see, restaurants across Disney Springs have created special menu items that pay tribute to Florida and everything homegrown in the Sunshine State. This goes through August 13th. We have 2 more of the culinary series, and you didn't have to sign up, but now you do. I just want to let you know, everybody thought you didn't have to sign up for the last 2, but now you do. So if you want to be here, make sure you go to www.disneysprings.com, click on events, and then click on Flavors of Florida so you can sign up. Next, we're going to feature, we have Gideon's Bakehouse, and then after that, we're going to feature the culinary team of Disney Springs. And shout out to the Disney culinary team sitting right over there. Thank you for being here. They didn't know I was going to do that. I see name tags and chefs, and I'm tuned to it. So make sure you check that out, all right? And if you take any pictures of the food or yourselves or me, be sure to share it on hashtag Disney Springs and hashtag, listen closely, Flavors of FL. Not Florida, but Flavors of FL is the official hashtag. So let's get into this right now because we're really excited. Today is the 4th event of our Flavors of Florida culinary series. Like I mentioned before, 2 remain. Now today, we're gonna feature the amazing Homecoming Florida Kitchen and Southern Shine Bar. Let's give it up for them. Beautiful location. Now, Homecoming pays tribute to Florida's rich agricultural heritage by highlighting local ingredients and farm-to-table cuisine. So let's kick things off. Let's welcome the executive chef of Homecoming. Please welcome Chef James Guinan. Welcome, Chef James. He's getting into position. Now, please join me in welcoming Homecoming's media manager and cookbook author, Heather McPherson. Welcome to you, Heather. And now, Disney Springs is proud to welcome a culinary legend. He was the personal chef to Oprah Winfrey. He has cooked for 2 Florida governors, and he's the winner of 2 James Beard Awards. Both are on display right here at Disney Springs, so be sure to stop by and take a look at him. Please welcome Chef Art Smith. I do the elbow bumps to welcome everybody.
Exactly.
There we go.
I think we need to get some fans out here.
I know, bigger ones, right?
Lord
Chef,
have mercy.
welcome. Now, it's always fun to talk to you. This is my 3rd time getting to experience time with you. So I want to talk to you about, you got this Florida charm every time I talk to you. I love your accent. Tell us about your Florida upbringing.
Well, I think I'm probably as Florida as you can get. I'm 7th generation Floridian. I'm from that other state, North Florida, way upon the Suwannee River, where all the alligators are. And so I grew up there, you know, a very southern background, agrarian. Sounds fabulous, but it was really hard work, and I wanted to get out of there, okay? So I played piano and came to work for Disney. And so, it was really charming, but the best thing about it was the food was gorgeous. And one thing I was telling someone last night is wherever I go, whatever I do, I take a little bit of me with me everywhere. You know, honey, I'm going next week to Portugal, and I'll tell you more about that. Guess what? Fried chicken and biscuits is on the menu. And you know, because the reality is, you know, there was a great lady, OW, you know who she is, Oprah Winfrey, who said, you know, always remember the authentic you is the best you. And what you love, other people will love.
Right, definitely. Now, speaking of love, you've got an amazing location here at Disney Springs, right on the water. You got a covered porch on the water. Tell us, what made you want to create Homecoming right here at Disney Springs in particular?
Who don't love fried chicken?
Who? Okay.
I want to tell you something, okay, like, you know, it's like, who don't love fried chicken? And by the grace of God and Mickey Mouse, here we are. And, you know, we were able to come here, and the great people at Millennial that believed in this chatty little chef, not chatty big chef, you know, that had this idea that we needed this Florida restaurant because they said, beyond the magical gates, there is a Florida that tastes good. How many of you had grilled grouper sandwiches? Apalachicola oysters, wild Gulf shrimp, blue crab claws, stone crab claws. Okay, now we're talking. We have delicious food. Now, we don't have all that, but they have a lot next door. These are my kissing cousins from Chicago, okay? But they have it too. So, you know, we have a really tasty steak. And we have things, because people will say to me, you know, in the restaurant, where in the South are you from? I said, I'm from Northern Florida. And they look at me like, that's Southern? It's very Southern.
Very Southern.
Right.
Now, Heather, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump to you. You are the media manager of Homecoming and an author. So I want to talk to you about this. What can we expect from Homecoming? And is everything, because this is Flavors of Florida, is everything from Florida, homegrown?
It is. Well, this year we are so excited to showcase our Key West shrimp cocktail. And it is so amazing. And it has everything that's in season right now in Florida. Mangoes, which are great. This is a time in Florida that farmers who have grow tropicals are really enjoying everything. And shrimp is always in season in Florida.
Wow,
So we've
okay.
got Key West pink shrimp for you today to sample. Oh, and yes, there's going to be food afterwards. This is sort of your little late brunch
Yeah,
here.
they bring you out
And
here
for
in
a
this
cocktail,
tropical heat.
which I think we all wish we had a cocktail
Yeah.
right now, right?
We can do that.
We have this wonderful fresh orange juice drink with Tito's and muddled strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Florida strawberries at that.
Yes, we saved them. We're nowhere out of season right now, but I'll teach you a little bit later how to freeze them so you can enjoy them for months later.
That's true. Yes, indeed. Now, so speaking of those ingredients, do we have some of those people here from Florida Dairy Farmers?
We do. I am so excited. We
Yeah.
actually had to bring farmers. If you've been to Homecoming, I'm sure you've seen our fabulous farmer wall.
Uh-huh.
And that's where every 4 months, we rotated a different farmer. And if you've noticed to the side,
I've
we have
seen
a little
it.
story about him.
I didn't
And
know you did.
actually, I'm going to start with the Lightsey Cattle Company because Carrie is on the wall right now.
Yeah, Gary. All right.
With his wife Marcia, an incredible educator, and 2 grandchildren.
Welcome.
Right in front of Carrie, y'all can say Santa. We have Sue Harrell. Sue is from the Florida Strawberry Growers.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Now,
I
if
see
y'all
the
aren't,
strawberries on the shirt and on the phone.
now, if y'all aren't from around here, our strawberries actually start right after Thanksgiving. So, which we get to enjoy things a lot earlier. And right next to her is my dear friend, Diane Smith with the Florida Dairy Farmers.
Hey. Welcome, Diane.
This is Day of the Cow, isn't it? We've got the Lightsey's here, we go.
I love them. I did yoga with y'all's cows.
She did what he did.
And it went viral.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize how much Florida dairy not only feeds the state of Florida, but also the Americas, and is a very vital part of our economy. And last but not least, Haley Scott from Long and Scott Farms
Yes.
in Selwood.
Selwood.
Sweet corn.
Yes.
I have known her granddad, I've known her dad. I mean, and this is the next generation. She is the queen of agro-tourism right now with all they do out there.
Wow.
Just do longandscott.com. It's great.
Wow,
I know.
agro-tourism. Another round of applause. Thank you for being here so much. And like you said, this is really tribute to Florida and everything homegrown in the state, and of course, keeping that in the ecosystem. So let's talk about what you're going to be making for us. Let's talk to Chef over here. What's
So
going on?
today we're going to be doing our own version of the shrimp and grits, Irish. So
Please
he
Irish
says.
the butter.
So we're just going to start off by making the tomato sauce that we have here for our shrimp and grits. We're going to start off by sweating some onions
Oh, so you're making, Chef James, this is tomato sauce from scratch.
from scratch.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we're just going to start off by sweating off the onions, the garlic. We got some green
Surprising that
peppers.
tomatoes can't sweat themselves today.
No,
What about it?
they're doing it themselves today, all right.
And I wanted to say we did not create or invent shrimp and grits. Where I'm from, we eat grits with fried fish. It's a Friday kind of thing. It's usually done for like fundraisers and stuff like that. There was a great, wonderful cookbook writer, restaurateur named Bill Neal. He's referred to as the James Beard of the South. He owned a famous restaurant in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, called Crook's Corner, and he made it famous. Now, the people of the Low Country and that part have been doing shrimp with seafood forever, and where I'm from, people like grits, and I'm like, yeah, don't say grits, okay? It's come on, people, wake up,
Chef,
laugh.
to quote,
I get reality, okay? I'm funny.
to quote Vinny
Oh, you stole it
Gambino,
already.
what is a grit anyway?
A grit, my friend, what grit is, it's crushed corn.
Okay.
And the difference is, grits have been a part of this part of the world for a long time. We grew corn and rice, and you can have you ever had rice grits?
Ooh.
They're
I can't say I
fabulous.
have.
And for those of you who don't like corn would love rice, and you can get them from Anson Mills in Charleston, right? And so they're really quite, and they're very light. Have you ever had them?
Never.
Rice grits?
Rice grits?
No, y'all eat grits. Y'all eat oatmeal. But anyway,
I'm oatmeal and
I would take
And farina.
I told myself, I said, self, I'm going to send a letter to the ambassador of Ireland and thank him for all his lovely Irish folks. Because I want to tell you something, we would be up Udall Creek without the Irish. Between my chef here, I have 30 Irish kids working for me at Reunion at Navy Pier. And I tell them, I said, just open your mouth, show that charming accent and that sweet little smile, little sweet little smile.
Think
And,
that's how I got the job, maybe?
and I don't care what you do, they'll forgive you. And so thank you, we're very grateful. But grits have always been part of the culture. And now grits, question. The ones that are bought in the store are highly processed. A long time ago, when I worked for the big lady, there was a doctor, and he talked about, and I know some of y'all watch that show, is that about overcooking your pasta. Remember that one? What do you do when you overcook your pasta? What comes out of it? All the starch. And what does that starch do? Okay? Same thing goes with grits, okay? So when you get grits, you see that, okay? Now you be buying that stuff in the grocery store? You want to order them online because these are coarse. They have the germ in them and they're better for you.
If you're buying it online, what do you know to order? What is it called?
They're usually called old-fashioned grits,
Okay.
stone ground.
Stone ground, okay.
Stone ground, and you can get them. Now, but there's other fine things like instant grits. Don't be put that in your mouth.
That's what I had this morning, Chef.
You put that in your mouth, you'll see it on your hips. Okay, I'm telling you.
Okay.
The more processed it is, the more it's going to be absorbed.
Oh,
Okay?
wow.
So what you want to do, because a lot of people don't like using them, but it's real simple. Soak them overnight.
Gotcha.
You soak them overnight. You have to throw them in your crock pot. Boom. You have delicious grits. And what's great about these is, you know, like when I'm going to Sicily and I'm going to make some there, but they have polenta, and polenta, all it is grits, okay? But it's yellow grits. We don't eat yellow grits, okay? But the one, but I like yellow grits too. I don't see the difference in taste. You see the difference in taste? I don't see the difference in taste. But what's great about it is you can make a big pot of grits, and then after you take the leftovers, you put it on a pan, you chill them, and you can cut them in squares, and you can fry them, and that's another specialty.
Okay.
But anyway, serving them soft with a lot of butter. Did you cook these in milk?
I got cream and butter.
Obviously. He's Irish. Okay, so cream and butter. So anyway, which makes them really, really delicious. And so what I do half water, half milk. And now you cattle people, don't you feel sad, because my father for 80 years raised black Angus cattle. We had a little herd. Okay, a little tiny one. On our farm, we still have it. We still have this original farm. It's only 150 acres, which in that part's is small. But anyway, and we still have the herd, and we have donkeys. You have donkeys? I have a funny story about donkeys.
Hey, Art, why don't you tell them where we get our grits from? 'Cause
Where do we
they're
get our grits? I don't know where we
Florida.
get our grits from. Where do we get our grits from?
We get our grits from Bradley's Country Store, which is based up in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right, because I found
You
them
can
there. Yeah,
order
exactly, I
online.
forgot. My memory
You
escapes me.
found them?
No, because I used to use them at the governor's house when I worked for him and the
Okay.
other one. And then I started I put them in my bag, went everywhere. But my donkey story. Well, donkeys are really intelligent animals. Did you know that? And whenever you're going down, the expressway, you still see cattle, you see a donkey running around. You know why? They're the watchdogs of the cattlemen, right? And we never think about it, but we have coyotes, and they are bad about attacking the baby calves and other things. And so, are you making that noise? Okay. And so, anyway, I had a very interesting family, and my father, for their anniversary, I think it was their 25th or 35th or something, gave my mother a pair of wild burros for anniversary gift. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Honey, I got you a pair of donkeys. So, to me, that sounds a little crazy. But that's typical of my family. But anyway, they still exist on the farm. The mama and daddy that he got now have babies, and those babies have babies and babies and babies. Getting to the story. My mother was an angel. I mean, God gave the angel when he found her. I got her. I want to tell you something. And She was the most gorgeous tax collector you ever met. I want to tell you something. She put that on and she got those taxes paid. And she, towards her life, she just worked really hard, and I took her all over the world. And I got kind of, special, where I said, I ain't going unless Mama goes. And so I take Mother everywhere. So we went to Russia, we went to Africa, we went, you name the country, she was the most traveling mama you ever had. So anyway, I took her to China because I won for a book. I didn't tell you this story yet. So anyway, I took her to the Lama temple, and she's there. And I said, and I'm doing my little thing, and she's kind of looking at me because she's a very, very Christian lady. And I said, Mama, I mean, I think whatever it does, it works for people. So let it be. So I took her down the street. We saw this restaurant. I said, let's go here and eat. So we're eating this delicious pulled pork. And I just love it. And then so we go to another restaurant the next day, and we have it again. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the menu, and I read something. I'm like, I say to the waiter, I'm not going to say this because we're at Disney and we're supposed to be, not say words, but anyway, but it says, a meat. And I looked at the waiter and I said, oh, what is that?
Oh.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Oh.
donkey. And I thought, oh my gosh, they've done fed my mother her pets. Yes!
Oh my goodness.
And my mama said, I looked at my mama, that was about as funny as when she was eating, Pumbaa in South Africa on the safari. Because when she accused the monkeys of stealing her personals. I took her on safari. She wanted to go, but I told her, I said, she wanted to see monkeys. I said, I don't think you want to see monkeys because they are, anyway. But they stole her personals, and the whole trip she was saying they stole my personals.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, back to shrimp and grits.
Yes.
Okay. So, what Chef is doing
Shrimp
here,
cheese.
he's doing something, he's starting something called the Holy Trinity. There's a lot of schlock, but I actually know what I'm talking about, okay? And that's your onions, that's your celery, that's your garlic, your bell peppers. And then what he's done is he's added tomato, which becomes sauce Creole. Where's the chefs at? You're over there?
You're over here.
Over there. Hello, chef. I had the most delicious dinner at Victoria and Albert's, and I saw Chef Hunnell. Just love him. He's a god. And it was so wonderful. And they danced in that kitchen for me. It was so delicious. Anyway, it's a sauce Creole, and so that's what he's made. Now, traditionally, they don't do that. It's basically just onions and bacon. You know that, don't you? It's real simple. So go ahead.
So right here we got, while Chef Art was talking, we had some onions, bell peppers, sauteed, kind of sweat off a little bit with some garlic. We got some thyme, oregano, and some basil as well. So we let that marry together, get those flavors out. And then we add some of our crushed tomatoes, which is our San Manzano.
You know what those are? Those fancy Italian tomatoes. They'll be using those other ones, but they do not taste the same. Buy them. They have them at Publix.
Flavor, color, you name it. It gives the best, nice, rich looking
But
sauce.
what if you can't get to this? If you had to recommend canned tomato sauce, if you had to.
Heather can answer that
Oh,
one.
we're
I
telling
would
you,
do-
Heather.
I would
So,
use fresh ones.
we actually have an
Had to.
extra gift for you today. We have a home cooked version of this recipe for you to take home after you have your sample.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna pass it on over here. Now this sauce, because we are from Scratch Kitchen, actually cooks for about 5 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
mainly cook from 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
simmer down very, very
So-
slowly.
It's kind of like Southern marinara.
Right. But in the supermarket, after many, many tries, because I love to play with my food, I have found that the fire roasted Glen Muir with a little more chive, a little more
They're good.
basil, will sub in a pinch.
Okay.
You know, because
Right.
I know that we don't have 2 hours, right?
Right.
We got to
Right.
get onto it.
But
So
you-
you'll find that in the home cooked recipe.
Yeah, but you can also just buy the fresh ones and peel them. That's one thing I learned. I'm thinking of Thomas Keller. You peel the tomatoes and seed them, and you crush them up. They're not as strong as the canned ones, but they'll work. I mean, I come from a household that hates tomatoes, and so.
How are they related to you?
Huh?
How are they even related to you?
What, tomatoes?
No, these people in your house who don't like
Well,
tomatoes.
there might be some people out there that don't like tomatoes.
Me, I'm one of them.
Hello, hello. People have aversion, and
I eat ketchup.
and I don't like them really, really acidy. So anyway, that's really wonderful. But so what are we gonna do next?
So this is just the finishing product after it's been simmering for a couple of hours. You see it's after getting thicker, it's after reducing down a little bit. So,
They got a mirror.
Do we have a mirror up there?
You got a
Yeah,
mirror.
yeah, and
It's
it's a
on the big
camera.
screen.
yeah.
And there's a camera right here too, so
Good.
show that camera. Heather, yes. Listen, you actually said something very interesting. You said shrimp are always in season.
Correct.
In Florida. But what's the benefit of buying wild caught shrimp as opposed to farmed shrimp?
Well, wild caught shrimp, basically, just as I said, they're caught in the wild. And then farm raised shrimp, there's just sort of a lot done to them while they're being caged and what have you. And that's not good for the environment. And it's if you go to any seafood purveyor in Florida, and locally you go to Lombardi's and Winter Park, my favorite, I don't go near the coast, Gulf or Atlantic, without a cooler in my car. But in Volusia County, Hull's, Hull''S Seafood, they own their own boats, they make incredible chowder. Over near the port, Wild Ocean Seafood is rocks. Most of the restaurants you see around Central Florida use Wild Ocean Seafood, but they're a little bit different in color. The pink one's a bit of a chameleon, but in Florida, all year round, there's pink, white, brown, and royal red shrimp. Now, royal reds are nice and big, and they got a little bit of lobster taste going on. And I didn't mention one. Which one did I mention? Rock, very good. Florida made the commercial part of the entire rock shrimp industry, Mark.
Oh wow.
Right.
Well, they were actually called peanuts, and when they're out there trawling for other things, Rodney Thompson, who actually used to build boats, his family owns Dixie Crossroads. How many people have been to Dixie Crossroads? So they would pick up these shrimp that have these scales on the back of them. They're like more of a prawn because the exoskeleton is kind of interlocking, and his daughter said, "Dad, we're just like wasting all this food." And he said he actually got out the shears that you cut metal with and cut up the back. And he was a bit of a tinkerer guy. He ended up inventing the machine that takes the rock shrimp off, which started a whole frozen food business. And no one else in the country. We get rock shrimp all the way from Norfolk, Virginia, down the Florida coast into Tortugas, and all the way over the Yucatan Peninsula. So rock shrimp is there. Technically, it's a prawn, but don't get in arguments about that. Only win on Jeopardy with that.
Right.
Yeah, they're
So we have 4 species, and I'll tell you, Mark, agriculture is $1 billion business for the state of Florida, which is one of the reasons why Homecoming loves Flavors of Florida. We want to celebrate people like this
Yeah.
every day. Yes.
I mean, we're the second largest state for cattle, correct? Is that where we are? Second? Pardon?
10 of the 25 largest. And I lived in Kissimmee, and I know Kissimmee used to be the cow capital of America
I
back in
remember
the day.
us being like kind of second. We're much bigger than people realize, and then of course we're just right behind California, strawberries, right? Like second. That's what I
Second
thought.
is
Yeah.
Okay.
And and people would starve to death in the north without all the produce from the south, Florida, and everything like that. We are the fruit basket and vegetable basket of Florida. Yeah, it's truly amazing. And I guess I'm old, but I do remember when they didn't have shelled rock shrimp, and they were considered like trash.
They were.
And but they have like this lobster shell on them,
Yeah.
which are not easy to peel, but they have great flavor. And that's the other thing too. When you get your shrimp and everything, do not throw the shells away. Make yourself one of those fumet. Did I say that word?
Yes.
Chefs.
Fume.
Pume?
Now, I don't want you to be talking about me when I leave and say he said something. Okay, you better tell me.
Said something wrong.
Okay?
Is it a P?
But fume. It's like this. You make this stock with the shellfish and the shells, and it's really delicious, and it adds flavor to a dish. So many dishes where they will ask for like chicken or beef, any dish where we're doing a fish dish or a seafood dish, you add this wonderful broth, and you get the best broth. It's just like how they do with lobster shells and all this stuff. The shrimp shells, divine, wonderful. You can roast them in the oven, right, Chef?
Yeah, you can make a beautiful biscuit out of it.
Yeah, really, really wonderful. I
And
mean,
it
so
freezes well too.
yeah, so throw nothing away. Like my favorite thing is salt and pepper shrimp, and when I go to the Chinese restaurant, and you eat the whole thing, shell and everything.
Oh, really?
But, oh yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah, and the head.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So is this hot? This is a cast iron pan. You know these fingers.
They've seen a lot.
This cast iron pan is a really good conductor. The problem is that we're using this burner. We need like a little air, little situation here.
We got some lake wind.
You know, I can stand here. I'm a big wind deterrer, but when it gets like that, so he's putting in a little. What are you putting? A little chili.
Right here we got this is our ancho seasoning, so we got a little bit of ancho powder.
And tell them what ancho seasoning is.
Ancho is like a ground chili, so it's has a little bit of more of a smokier flavor to it compared to any other ground chili. But we have a little bit of garlic powder in there, a little bit of salt, some pepper.
And Spanish smoked paprika is really good in there too. You know, you can get all. I think they even sell ancho seasoning now in Publix. And but it is quite good. And like again, this is not the authentic recipe, but we do sell a lot of it.
And-
First time, go ahead.
So sorry, because I see you cooking it now.
What?
Just Heather or you, chef, or both chefs. How do you know shrimp is done? Because shrimp cooks really fast.
It turns bright pink and it's very firm.
Okay.
Whenever and you know it's a firmness about it. You know shrimp and grits. Everything we served at homecoming, there's a story behind it. So years ago, I wrote a book called Back to the Table, and this publisher I'd never heard of called Hyperion ABC.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And it really launched my career. And I don't know if y'all have read any Marjorie Kenny Rawlings books, The Yarling, all that. She has a cookbook called Cross Creek Cookery. And I love that book. And she inspired me that putting stories with food made it more interesting. She had Dora the cow, so she had ice cream with Dora's milk, blah, 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 blah. So the book, I was inspired by doing that. You know, and great inspiration always comes from other people, okay? You know, if it's good enough to steal, okay? So, so anyway, I write this book. It's focused on North Florida, my grandmother's boarding house, la 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 la. Okay, I do that. And it was, you know, it was an effort of love. A lot of time went into it. And a really great family named President George and Mrs. Barbara Bush recognized it. And they only recognized literature, but they recognized a cookbook. I think first one ever in their whole book history. And so they invited me down to Naples to speak. And I said, well, it's such an honor to speak, and I had to speak in front of them, which I was scared, you know, cannot believe. I did a luncheon, and you know what I served them? And that's the first time I ever served it publicly. And I served, which you haven't made yet, my mother's 12-layer chocolate cake, which is kind of a nightmare in this kind of weather. And some people call it Smith Island cake. We call them stack cakes, but it has delicious fudgy icing with little pieces of vanilla cake, and it's just and you serve it with some really good, if you have a lot of time and a lot of energy, good fresh vanilla ice cream, the bomb. And that's what we made, and they loved it. So that's where it first started, and so to me, you know, food without a story doesn't taste good.
And how much do you plate a day of shrimp and grits at homecoming?
We will plate anything up to 100 orders a day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, really.
Professionally by a great team of cooks that we have in there, and a great chef team also. They do a fantastic job in there. We're busy every day, and you know I can't thank them enough. And same with Chef Art, I can't thank them enough either.
What was it, 42 tons of fried chicken last year?
Yeah.
I've sadly decimated the whole chicken population of Florida.
Well, that looks amazing, and we can't wait to try a sample of that. So,
And at my house in Jasper, I have a chicken sanctuary.
oh yeah.
No bird shall be eaten.
Oh wow. Okay.
We don't eat their eggs.
Okay.
But a fox got in my pen back there and ate
Oh,
my
no.
ducks.
You know what you need? A donkey.
I heard I need a sheepdog for that. But you know, like there's a beautiful Florida hammock behind me. You know, that's just swampland, whatever they call it. I call it a hammock. And everyone's saying, oh, they should mow it down, but I said, then all the wildlife lived there. And I know that some little fox, she must have been a hungry one because she ate all 50 of them. And I hand raised them and everything. Now I'm collecting exotic birds in my house in Chicago. And but anyway, they, you know, there are a lot of, you know, they have to eat too.
Well, thank you very much. And before we close, I just want to again thank the Florida dairy farmers, the Florida strawberry growers, Leipzig Cattle Company, and Long and Scott Farms for being here. Thank you very much. A round of applause for the culinary team. Thank you again to Chef James Geiner. And of course, thank you to our media manager and author, Heather McPherson. And of course, a big thank you to Chef Art Smith.
Thank you. So simply all you do, you put your grits on your plate. Chef do that beautifully as ever. He does it prettier than mine. Mine are as pretty as his. Okay. That's a lot of grits. That's enough for the whole audience.
Hey, so southern portions.
And I can promise you, this is a lovely dish that you can make. You can make the sauce, you can freeze it, and you can make it for big parties. I've served it for thousands, okay? And it's really wonderful. It's so wonderful to come from a state that has a delicious food heritage and to be able to travel the world and take it with me. I leave next week for Portugal. The Pope is visiting Portugal. We're cooking for the Pope. And then I go to Sicily. So I'm really excited. And we need some beef over there, y'all. They don't have beef like we have. You know, and I also think I think our berries are better. Our strawberries are better. But anyway,
It's interesting.
there you have it. Where you we're gonna do a little bit of this.
We're gonna put a little bit of fancy stuff on top of
Fancy
that.
What do we do this?
That looks
We're gonna put a little bit
amazing.
of chives on top, and then to finish off, I got some herb oil, which we can use any kind of infused oils that you can get in the supermarket if you want to.
Yeah.
This is what we have right here from Homecoming. So basically, we got some chives, parsley, and some basil in there too. So we blanch off the herbs, strain it off, and then we blitz it up with some of the oil and let it strain down. So we got a really, really smooth, nice cream colored oil. That goes around right there.
Thank you, Chef.
And then just, you know, I went a little bit fancy because, you know, Chef Art's in town.
Uh-oh.
I got a little bit of fresh microgreens to go on top.
Yeah, put a little grass on there. Okay.
Here we go.
And everybody remember, when all else fails, feed them.
Feed 'em.
Remember, you feed them, they come. You keep feeding them, they stay. You want them to get to your place, their point, whatever. I've sold books and gotten restaurants and done all kinds of things with food. So remember, feed them a lot. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Chef James. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mark. And thank you to the great Walt Disney Company and Matt Simon for hosting this wonderful Taste of Florida. Come eat some chips and grits. And
Thank
Heather.
you very
Thank
much.
you, Heather.
All right. Thank you very much, Heather, and everyone. Thank you to the whole culinary team. Thank you to Homecoming, Florida. This is fantastic. Now, once again, I want to remind you, if you want to sign up for next week, where we feature Gideon's Bakehouse and then the culinary team the next Friday, go to www.disneysprings.com, click on events, click on Flavors of Florida. Thank you very much for joining us for Flavors of Florida, presented by Corksicle. They can make things cool, and they make cool things. So find your Corksicle. Mine is all Star Wars related. Thank you very much, and enjoy your sample of amazing shrimp and grits.
Wow, that was awesome. Let's get that. All right, let's take a look at these shrimp and grits from the Flavors of Florida. Well, that looks fantastic. It smells fantastic also. All right, that was a look at Flavors of Florida. They made the shrimp and grits. You could smell it almost instantly after making it. They are packing up the chairs. We are gonna go over here and try our sample. Hello.
Hey, Greg, you want to help me move this one?
Excuse me.
Okay, then he'll stay out. Okay, cool.
James will go back over for homecoming.
All right, we got the recipe, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he'll be like Dorothy.
Oh, this looks awesome.
Well, you know what? I had my deer
That is fantastic smelling. Let's go over here. Excuse me. Looks like Chef Art's doing meet and greets. All right, here's an up close look at the dish. Looks and smells fantastic. All right, we're gonna give this a try real quick. Here it is. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. That's phenomenal. All right, guys, we're in line to meet Chef Art Smith. All right, guys, it's time to meet the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chef Art Smith. How you doing, Chef?
The man. The man, the man, the man. Are you in Fort Wilderness?
Huh?
You at Fort Wilderness?
Not at the moment. I'm at the Contemporary right now.
Contemporary
but
Hotel. The Contemporary Hotel has...
We got to hit them all, though.
It's a really delicious restaurant called California Grill upstairs. And I stayed there in their level, which what do you call that? Big Mouse level. What's that?
Chef Mickey.
Chef Mickey. I mean, it's delicious. I love Chef Mickey's brunch and everything. What do you did with the Contemporary?
We had Chef Mickey's yesterday, and tonight we go to Artist Point, Snow White.
Snow White.
Yeah,
That's
we're doing
really,
that
really
tonight.
lovely. So remember your Walt
Over at,
Disney World. Go to the Contemporary Hotel. Here's the man. He'll tell you all about it. Chef Art Smith here.
So I live in Indianapolis, and we actually drive up to Reunion on weekends.
Oh, do you?
just
We
to
like
have
that too.
it.
Reunion's good too. We
Yeah.
have good lakeside fried chicken too, and we got some slushies. Will make you see Jesus. Okay.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's go. So this event was presented by Corksicle. They have a pop-up shop here right next to T-Rex and Paddlefish. You can come here and check it out. They have all kinds of stuff from Corksicle coolers to water bottles, Marvel, Disney, all kinds of cool stuff. So come check it out. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up from Disney Springs. We had a good taste testing with Chef Art Smith. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and join us on our next adventures, and also check out our memberships. Thanks again.